Hi, our capstone project is the automated set platform for MSU's production of Spring Awakening. My name is Lisa McEnnnerney.
I'm Daniel Moore.
I'm Blomquist.
I'm Aaron Benson.
I'm James Jeong.
Our advisor is Shannon McEnnnerney with our sponsor Tom Delgado. Our initial level 1 requirements for the turntable and lift were that it holds about 10 to 12 people at 150 pounds each while turning at about 1.25 RPMs. The stage itself would be 18 feet long and 19 feet 6 inches wide, with the turntable 12 feet in diameter in the center of the stage at 18 inches height. The lift was then a 4x3 foot rectangle in the center of the turntable that would raise 1 foot into the air and be able to hold 2 people at 150 pounds each. After meeting with the director, Kara Wilder, and scenic designer, Tom Watson, the stage design was actually changed, and with that, the level 1 requirements as well. The turntable would still be 12 feet in diameter, holding 10 to 12 people, but the lift would now be moved to the back platform, be a 6x4 rectangle holding 2 people, and raise 5 feet into the air. Since the turntable and lift would be used during a show with actors moving and dancing on them, while designing we had to keep in mind the sound that the mechanisms would produce, the safety of them, including emergency shutoffs should anything go wrong, and then keeping the mechanisms of the automation hidden from the audience.
When designing the turntable, we strove to ensure structural stability while still minimizing the friction induced during the necessary rotation. The final design comprised of 12 structural stud wall construction members braced at their ends in a central axial hub to resist the normal force of the frictional drive wheel. These stud walls were then lined with 4 casters each, spaced evenly along the length, leading to a total of 48 casters implemented in the design. According to values given by the capacity of wood columns in Cornell University, the maximum loading of an unbraced 9-inch section of 2x4 is 3,863 pounds. The weight of this turntable will be 400 pounds. The weight of the actors, if there are 15 of them, will be 2,625 pounds. With these loadings, a conservative loading of the turntable on the structure will be 3,782 pounds. If this loading is divided evenly over the vertical structural pine members, that'll lead to a safety factor of 73.54. The maximum loading on each caster is 110 pounds. This loading spread evenly over the casters will lead to a safety factor of 1.4. The axial hub of the turntable will need to resist the 400 to 500 pound normal force loading of the frictional drive wheel. For this analysis, 2 pipes of Schedule 80 pipe will be threaded into 2 flanges, one connected to the turntable, one to the structure. Around these, a collar made of Schedule 40 pipe will couple the 2 shafts together. It was found from the turning of the collar and the stress concentrations provided by its edges at the inside diameter on the 2 Schedule 80 pipes was found to be 1,166.5 psi. This verified that this value was well below the yielding strength of steel and that the axial hub would support the force.
As mentioned earlier, the turntable needs to turn between 1 to 2 RPMs. Out of the options of rotating the turntable, a frictional drive method was chosen. Using a polyurethane driving wheel, torque is applied to the table in order to achieve the necessary speed. The torque needed is calculated using the mass moment of inertia of the table. The torque is achieved by a 2 horsepower AC induction motor outputting 1,750 RPMs. The output speed of the wheel will be controlled using a gearbox and a variable frequency drive. The friction force applying the torque is achieved by exerting at least 300 pounds of normal force between the wheel and the turntable. Both the wheel and the turntable are designed to withstand this force.
So for our final design of the scissor lift, we decided to go with two X's using 5-foot steel members that's powered by a hydraulic cylinder at the bottom.
The hydraulic system consists of a power unit connected to a hydraulic cylinder. The power unit pressurizes hydraulic fluid which flows inside the cylinder, which will then cause it to extend to its full stroke length of 24 inches. The hydraulic power unit is capable of producing 3,000 psi at 1.5 gallons per minute. This pressure, when applied to the 2.5-inch piston in the cylinder, produces a force of 14,000 pounds, which is plenty for lifting 2 actors.
In order to ensure that the scissor lift met all the requirements set forth for it, we ran a series of analyses on it. The first of these was an analysis of the rise time, in which we found the rise time to be just over 20 seconds, which fits in the required interval. The finite element analysis tool in SOLIDWORKS was used to find a suitable beam size for the lift. A more advanced finite element analysis was performed in ANSYS to find the stress in the beam, and the resulting safety factor calculated for yield, was 1.67. Finite element analysis was also used to find the stress in the flange at the top and bottom of the scissor lift. This safety factor was computed to be 9.8. An analytical solution was also found for the bolts in shear. This safety factor was computed to be 7. The clevis pins were analyzed in shear, resulting in a safety factor of 9.1. The force required from the piston to raise the scissor lift was computed to be 4,100 pounds. The piston currently used in our design is capable of outputting 14,000 pounds, giving us a safety factor of 3.1.
Due to the nature of this project, the timeline for next semester is a little advanced. A prototype should be done by February 17th. All parts bought should arrive by March 6th, all parts fabricated done by March 13th. A safety testing should be done by March 24th, and the turntable and lift should be fully operational by March 27th to allow the actors time to practice on them before the show opens April 7th.
Interaction with the School of Film has provided an enlightening and incredibly enjoyable artistic engineering experience that we hope will provide an artistic performance, the likes of which have not been previously undertaken at the Black Box Theater.
Bye!